All right, boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. Today, we're just going to be reacting to an article that came out this morning by SNY. I'll leave the link in the description for those of you that want to check it out. But it's just talking about what we need to see from the Knicks in the second half. So, we're just going to start off with the first one, and that's performance against the Beast of the East. Only one Eastern Conference champion in the last 10 seasons finished with a sub 500 record against its two best in conference opponents. The February 8th loss to Boston left the Knicks a combined 0-3 against the Cavaliers and Celtics. After the All-Star break, the Knicks have 3 games against Cleveland and 2 against Boston. The one team that did it, by the way, guys, was the 2016 Cavaliers, and they had to overcome a 3-1 deficit, right, against the 73-win team. So it wasn't easy by any means, down to the wire, of course, in that Game 7, Kyrie, that infamous shot, LeBron block. But yeah, the Knicks just haven't played good teams very well this season. They've beaten some like the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, the Pacers. I mean, there's several that the Knicks have been able to beat, but it's just like the Thunder they're 0-2 against, the Cavs they're 0-1 against, the Celtics they're 0-2. I think the reason for that is I'm not gonna say just Mitchell Robinson. I don't know if he's gonna make the Knicks be able to overcome that, but a lot of it is just a whole new team too. The Knicks team last season, it just fit and meshed so well, even though it was less talented on paper. It just embodied one of those old grit and grind physical Knicks teams. This one has star power, but it's still trying to figure out how to defend. But I will say one of the biggest issues on the Knicks is their interior defense. So Mitchell Robinson certainly is going to help with that. He's also by far, without question, the best offensive rebounder. So OG and Mitch both cleared to practice. OG should play against the Bulls, and then Mitch should be back early March. Things are looking pretty promising for the Knicks. So I do think they'll be able to elevate their play against the Celtics and the Cavs with Mitch out there. So we'll have to wait and see. But we see Mitch take over that Cavs series, of course, 2 seasons ago, right? And then OG, I mean, the Knicks just they didn't lose 2 games in a row with OG the whole year last season when they traded for him. So is the Knicks clutch play sustainable? So I did briefly look over this, and the Knicks are 12-7 in clutch games. That's the third best record in the NBA. Clutch situations are defined as a game within 5 points with under 5 minutes to go. The Knicks are number 4 in turnovers forced per 100 possessions and number 1 in points off of turnovers per 100 possessions. They have the second best field goal percentage in the clutch, 53.4, the number 1 free throw percentage, 86.5, and the fourth lowest turnover rate. And it says, as you imagine, Jalen Brunson's numbers in the clutch are strong. He's shooting 53% from the field and has the second best assist percentage in the NBA among players with at least 18 clutch games. My first thought on this was, yes, it's sustainable because of Jalen Brunson, right? Jalen Brunson is one of the most clutch players in all of basketball. When the game is on the line, you put the ball in his hands, and more often than not, he's going to get it done. I mean, if the Knicks can continue to win clutch games, they're going to be in a great spot because we just talked about them, rather their inability to beat the top 2 teams in the conference. Well, even though the Celtics games didn't come down to the wire, I do think that the ones moving forward will. And I trust Brunson with the ball in his hands more than I trust anyone in Boston. I can tell you that much, especially Jason Tatum. In terms of Josh Hart, I had a video scheduled. I never uploaded it. I don't know why, but it was talking about why Josh Hart seriously should have all-star consideration. Let's pull up his numbers. Of course, Hart always goes above the numbers, but I mean his numbers don't really back up being an all-star just because of his low scoring, 14.7. 15 points per game is pretty good considering he's shooting 56% from the field, but 9.6 rebounds, 5.7 assists. Hart's been very efficient this year. He shot the three ball pretty well, better than I thought too. There was coming into the season, guys, in training camp. I was saying teams are just gonna leave Josh Hart open and make him beat them. And even though they're doing that, Hart at times has. Like Hart is not afraid to shoot the three ball, but he's also just going to the basket when they're leaving open and making plays happen. Yeah, Hart has been phenomenal this season. The defense is going to be the thing. I'm not saying Hart's a bad defender, but I do think in the second half I'd like to see more defense out of Mikal, Hart, and OG because that's what the Knicks are. Like it's who they are, right? Is they're going to beat you with their defense. I know they're the second best offense in basketball. But the Knicks, they've got to get into that top 5 of defense in the second half to be able to win a championship. I don't think they're going to be able to beat OKC and Boston and Cleveland and like those types of teams if they aren't elite defensively. So I just ate lunch, my bad, guys. But New York is averaging 1.21 points per play when Hart has the ball in transition. They're scoring points 60% of the time he has the ball in transition. I'm honestly surprised that's not even higher when Hart has the ball going downhill. He just seems unstoppable. Hart ranks third in the league in assist ratio among players on the floor for at least 30 minutes per game. Hart is behind Trae Young and Tyrese Halliburton on that list. He is 12th in total rebounds at 6'4". Hart is at least 5 inches shorter than the 11 players ahead of him on the list. His rebounds can turn into transition opportunities for the Knicks, which transitions into the next point, which I read before that, but you guys can see why they added that. Hart has been a great facilitator this season, in addition to a strong assist ratio. Hart ranks 18th in the NBA total assists. LeBron James, Josh Giddey, and Domantas Sabonis are the only non-lead guards ahead of Hart on the list, and Hart has the fewest touches per game among those four. Yeah, I mean, like LeBron, Sabonis have the ball constantly. Josh Giddey, and now that Zach LaVine's not there, it's going to increase. But, Giddey touches the ball a lot and makes some plays. Like, Josh Hart is playing with Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges, too. So it's remarkably impressive that Hart's even in that list. And the most impressive is the rebounding, too. I mean, averaging, go up, of course, you estimate up. I mean, 10 rebounds a game at 6'4" is crazy, man. I can't remember. Russell Westbrook kind of comes to mind. I mean, yeah, Russell's about 6'4". So the last time we saw a guard do that, I'm pretty sure was that. I mean, James Harden is a little. James Harden's about 6'5". I mean, he's gotten close to 10 rebounds a game, but man, Josh Hart to do that with Cat too. Cat is second in rebounds behind Sabonis. So, what do we have? 630. So the last thing I want to talk about is going to be the 15th roster spot for the Knicks. So because of the Jericho Sims trade, and I could make a whole video entirely on this, but I'll just put it in this video. So because of the Sims trade, the Knicks now don't have to wait until March 1st to sign a player to a guaranteed contract, which would be the last roster spot they have. They can do it February 28th, which is in 9 days. TJ Warren, I expect to be the guy. I was going to make a video earlier talking about Moses Brown, but the Mavs snagged him from us as they are desperate for size right now. I was going to say, to me, it's between TJ Warren and Moses Brown, two G League guys for Westchester, of course. But with Brown gone, I'm going with TJ Warren. PJ Tucker could be bought out. The Knicks would have to wait for that, though. They could buy out. I'm looking at a Mo Bamba. Not very many options. Taj Gibson, Del Curry, or Tel Curry, Seth Curry. Sorry, Del Curry, man. I'll pass the time. Seth Curry. The Knicks don't need a guard, but he's shooting 45 from three. I highly doubt he gets bought out. Yeah, there's just not a lot of options. I think the Knicks should go after a wing because, for one, TJ Warren's averaging about 14 a game. He's been great in the G League, but it's just the Knicks' biggest weakness is, of course, at the wing. I mean, at center, they've got Precious, Okpori, Cat, and Mitch. They're fine there. But Mikal, Hart, and OG, they're top three in minutes. Outside of that, you're looking at Landry Shamet, like Jacob Toppin, Matt Ryan. There's just not much. So if one of those guys gets hurt, I mean, TJ Warren would instantly just come into the rotation and play a big part. And at the guard position, Brunson, Payne, McBride, DeLon Wright, Tyler Kolek. No need for another guard there. Even just McBride, Payne, and Brunson's perfectly fine, right? TJ Warren makes a lot of sense. He can shoot the ball. He's efficient. And he's a veteran too, so he's got the experience. I think TJ Warren not only should be on the active roster, but he should be a part of the rotation. I'll tell you that right now. So hopefully he is. And I'm also hoping Tibbs decides to go to like a 10, 11-man rotation in the playoffs. I think that would actually benefit the Knicks. Brunson, Bridges, Hart, OG, Cat, Mitch, Payne, McBride, Precious, Warren. And then if you guys want Shamet or Hukpori, that'd be 11, right? So, yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, that's what it should be. Like, the Knicks are not beating the Celtics with an 8-man rotation. It's just not going to happen, right? They're going to be gassed. And that's after the first-round series of them going up against, like, I don't know, the Pistons. Like, imagine that doesn't seem that hard, but, like, that's not going to be an easy first-round series. I mean, Pistons are playing pretty well right now. So, yeah. But, guys, I'm out. Knicks Daily. Peace.